There is so much incredible food in DC, it can be overwhelming, especially with new spots popping up on what seems like a daily basis. Sometimes I find myself eating at the same places over and over just because I can't decide what new place to try. But this March, there's no better reason to get out there and check some places off the list. It's District Bridges' Tour del Taco. From March 1st to 31st, try as many of DC's best tacos and pupusas as you can to be crowned DC's taconnoisseur. With each taco, you'll earn points to climb the Tour del Taco leaderboard for a chance to win prizes, gift cards, and experiences. You can even give back to the community with the Have a Taco, Give a Taco fundraiser and help cover the cost of a hot meal to a neighbor in need. Visit districtbridges.org/Tour del Taco DC to see the taco map, track your progress, and vote for your favorite taco in the city.
Today on CityCast DC, it has been a long, cold, dark winter, but things are finally looking up. I mean, the temperature is in the 60s this week. Sunset is finally past 6 p.m. Hallelujah, we made it, y'all. My colleagues Ash Durbin and Priyanka Tilve are here with Rex to make sure that you don't squander this upcoming month of warmth and sunshine. Oh, and after the interview, our sponsor, District Bridges, joins the pod to share the best way to get your taco fix this month in DC. So stick around to learn more. Today's Thursday, February 27th. I'm Bridget Todd, and here's what DC is talking about. Ash, Priyanka, we did it. It is finally March. I feel like the cold, dark, or at least the darkest, coldest part of the year is behind us.
We did it.
We did it. Longest winter ever. We survived. It is so nice. Like it's nice to be waking up to sunshine. It's nice that it's like you don't need your big winter jacket anymore to step outside. I'm just so happy.
Yeah, we're back. We're back.
We're back.
Yeah, I mean, I do think this was one of the darker, longer, harder winters. But that just means what's coming next is like the good stuff, the good part of the year. We got to remember that like there's so much to do. There's so much to see in springtime in DC. It's actually one of my favorite parts of the year here.
100%. Yeah. Especially like March is kind of the sweet spot where it's warmer. And again, the days are longer, but it's not quite hot and humid yet.
Yeah. One of the few months where it's like pleasant to do stuff.
So are there activities that you all get up to every March in DC?
Yeah, well, kind of in the spirit of it being gorgeous outside, this is the month where I lean into outdoor fitness classes. There are so many free ones in DC. There's yoga classes, there's like Zumba classes. A lot of these happen in Meridian Hill Park, which is astonishingly close to me. So that's very convenient. But yeah, we have actually a whole list of these that our Hey DC newsletter writer Kayla wrote up a while ago. So I can link to that in our show notes for you. But it's just such a great time to take advantage of those. And again, like most of them are free.
Is this you admitting that you've done the run club fad, Priyanka?
No, I do not run. Running is not for me. I do everything else. I'll go to any other kind of activity, not running. Though there are running club tips, again, on that list that Kayla wrote up. So if running is for you, no judgment. I'm just not one of you.
Even if you're not a runner, I know that they have like walk clubs, hike clubs. Someone who's been on the podcast, As Told by Dom, hosts like a girl hike group in Rock Creek Park. I've never done it, but it is a goal of mine to get out there. Before Dom was ever on the podcast, I saw them doing it, and I saw this like big group of Black and brown women hiking together. And I screamed like, what is this? What are you? What group is this? Like, so yeah, even if you're not a runner, there are like slower, lower impact group outdoor vibes you can join.
That's a good point. I love walking. I walk everywhere. I'm like that person that people make fun of because I'm like, oh, yeah, we could totally walk to that restaurant. It's just like a cool 45-minute walk. And my friends are like, excuse me? So yeah, I've been wanting to try the As Told by Dom group. I've been wanting to try City Girls Who Walk, which does a lot of events around the city. Good shout, Bridget. What about you? Is there an activity you like to do every month?
Well, with the warm weather, I will say that I think I've mentioned this before. I'm a little bit of a winter hibernator. Like I do kind of go through a phase in January, February where I'm not leaving the house, and kind of like a groundhog. March is where I start sort of peeking out a little bit more. So every March I get a little more active. And I think this March especially, I am going to be making a point of doing this, and I think most people should, is get out there and do weird, fun, cultural stuff with your friends. I think especially now, like now more than ever, go listen to weird music, go watch an effed up movie, go do gay stuff with your gay friends. Like, do the weird stuff that we love about DC. You know, now I think now is the time to reconnect to all of that cultural stuff that we love that some people out there are fighting and trying to push out of our city, but we make our city great. So yeah, go watch an effed up movie and then go hear some weird music and go check out some weird art.
Where do you find weird art?
There is actually an exhibit that I can't wait to see at the National Museum of Women in the Arts that explores the surreal and strange. It's an exhibit called Uncanny, and it's going to be happening through August 10th. So you've got some time. It just opened February 28th. All about sort of the weird, the wonderful, the feminist, surrealist art. So if you want to check out some weird art with me, definitely check it out. If you want to check out some weird films, go to Sons. Yeah, I think now is the time that we should be lifting up and prioritizing our weird niche art scene because some people want to get rid of it, and let's not allow them to.
That Uncanny art exhibit actually looks so cool. And the artist is giving a talk Friday, March 7th at 12 p.m. And it's free and it's just virtual. So even if you have work that day or something, if you can, attend a virtual event for an hour, it looks so cool. Like their whole thing is like feminist strategies of resistance, and the art looks cool. The women look cool. Totally co-sign that, Rec.
Yeah. Trump tweeted that there was going to be no more, quote, drag shows or anti-American propaganda happening at the Kennedy Center anymore. Let's go enjoy some anti-American propaganda, shall we, folks?
Yep. There's always weird stuff at Rhizome as well. Like I've been meaning to go to a puppet workshop there for like 2 years and I never have.
That's in Tacoma Park, right?
It is.
Well, I don't approve of puppetry specifically, but I approve of the spirit.
I think there's a lot of puppetry at Uncanny. I think on the front page is literally like scary puppets.
Oh.
Scary feminist puppets.
Okay, I might have to reassess because I don't approve of puppetry.
This is such a specific opinion. I love learning this about you.
I approve of puppetry so hard. So I'm ashamed to hear this from you, Bridget.
When they come to life at night and kill you, we'll see what happens. When the puppets come to life, we'll see what happens. Ash, what about you? What do you get into every March?
Yeah, I was having trouble thinking of this one, and kind of by chance, my friend texted me this morning, and it like awakened me. Like we were all saying, it's nice out. We're all trying to like get outside. And my friend texted me and said, we should go to the Oconquin Bay National Wildlife Refuge. And I will admit that he did suggest this because the day before I had texted the group chat that I wanted to go to Manassas so we could go to Cookout. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Cookout, but it's an incredible Southern fast food chain. It's like the only place where you can get a chili burger and then your sides can be like a quesadilla and a corn dog.
Or French toast sticks.
Or French toast sticks.
I went to college in North Carolina, so I'm very familiar with Cookout.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom's from Tennessee, so anytime we're there, we're crushing Cookout, and Manassas is the closest one. It's about an hour away, so we've been looking for an excuse to get there. And then my friend found this place because apparently it is the #1 spot in the DMV to see river otters.
Huh.
Which I didn't even really, I guess it makes sense because we have rivers, but I didn't really think that river otters are about. But I've been seeing some videos these past couple weeks in like College Park and just around the DMV where river otters are out and swimming. And apparently Oconquin Bay National Wildlife Refuge is the best place to see them. I imagine spring is probably a good time to see river otters. I don't really know their habits like that, but it seems like it's getting warmer. They'll probably be out more.
The logic stands.
Yeah, but I love an excuse to like I want to go to Cookout, so let me find something like to do near the Cookout to justify going to Cookout.
And work up an appetite.
Yeah, exactly. Or like people love going to like driving out to Frederick to go to the closest Waffle House or, something like that. So I think that's a great March activity.
That sounds lovely. So it's just like a national park with hikes and stuff?
Yeah, Yeah, classic kind of DMV marshy terrain with, little walks and stuff. So we're gonna go and try to scope out some otters.
Cookout and otters sounds like that's a great that's a good day.
Yeah.
CityCast is made possible by the Peabody Institute of the Johns Hopkins University, celebrating 1 year of performances at the Johns Hopkins University Bloomberg Center, located at 555 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. This spring, immerse yourself in the vibrant offerings at DC's newest venue for music and dance, featuring a full season of free performances. Experience a dynamic range of events, including orchestral, jazz, and chamber music, all presented by esteemed Peabody faculty, students, alumni, and special guests. Highlights of the season include the Super Collider Symposium from March 13th to March 15th, a symposium on algorithmic composition tools bringing together more than 50 leading researchers for presentations of art and science-based creative work, and Load Bang on April 30th, a New York City-based new music chamber ensemble performing works by Peabody composition faculty, including Guggenheim Fellows and Pulitzer Prize finalists. While all events are free, tickets are required for entry. Explore the full performance schedule, find out more details, and reserve your tickets at washingtondc.jhu.edu.
Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why MyLowe's Rewards is free to join. As a member, you earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases, get exclusive free gifts, and earn free shipping at Silver Key status, all on top of weekly member-only deals. Don't wait. Join MyLowe's Rewards for free today and start saving more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Well, speaking of your March traditions, do you have any tips that folks can be taking this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when the weather gets warmer, I'm always suggesting kind of like short day trips. And living in DC, certainly not everybody has a car, but there are a lot of tips and tricks that I have found in my life in DC to like securing a car for a day trip that doesn't necessarily break the bank. So I tried to put some of them together. The most obvious way to rent a car is to go to a rental car place. But what I found on Reddit is if you Metro to DCA, you can get cheaper rates. If you're really a pro, you use your Costco membership. And just a quick little search found like for around like $50 for a day, you can rent a car, which I feel like is pretty good, especially if you're going with friends. If you get 4 friends together, that's like, a little over $10 each. And then we also have like Free to Move in DC, which is a little bit more expensive. It's like $100 a day. But deep into Reddit, I found someone claiming that American University has an alumni discount and the codes are on their website. And you don't have to prove that you're an alumni to use them. So I haven't tried that, but allegedly you can use the alumni codes to rent a car and they won't check if you actually went to AU, and I did not. So I'm going to try that out. And then there's Zipcar and like a whole bunch of other things, but there's a lot of options to rent a car in DC and they don't have to be expensive. So if you don't have a car, don't let that stop you from going to get Cookout or Waffle House or seeing otters,
Yeah. Do you have other like short trip spots that you really like?
Ooh, I love a place called Accokeek, Maryland. It's like by Waldorf. I went on like a solo couple-hour bike run down there, which was cool. Again, it was because I wanted to check out this carry-out place called B&J.
So food motivated.
Yeah, so food. Oh, it's like you get a little exercise and then you get some like disgusting greasy food.
Can I say one thing about Free to Move, which is that it can be a little spotty depending on your cell service. And so if you are using Free to Move to go someplace that might have iffy cell coverage, just be aware that like it's very connected to your cell coverage. And if your cell coverage drops, you might find yourself in a little bit of a pickle. So plan ahead.
Because you need your phone to unlock the car, right?
Yeah, and I have definitely experienced the downside of that.
Yeah, no, that's a great tip because that would suck.
What about you, Priyanka? What is something that you think people should be aware of in March in DC?
Yeah, I mean, so when I was trying to think of my tip, a few like knee-jerk ideas came to mind, and I think they're quick and easy. So I'm going to just mention them. If you get allergies, start taking your allergy meds now because the pollen's coming for you. Best to get ahead of it. 2, cherry blossoms start blooming, hence the pollen. Go on a weekday morning, like wake up early and go on a weekday morning and you'll get to avoid all the tourists that way. Then my real tip though, so yeah, those are my like quick and dirty obvious tips. But then the tip that I really wanted to share was that over the course of February, the DC government went around setting up these like food waste drop-off bins all across the city. It's like basically the compost bins. I'm someone that loves the idea of composting. I hate throwing things away when they can be useful in some way. It's just like a big pet peeve of mine to do that. But I quickly fill up my Tupperware in my freezer of compost and then keep missing the opportunity to take it to the farmer's market on the one day that it's open, and like if you miss it, you miss it. And then like I literally have a massive piece of box of Tupperware that's been full for months because I just haven't found a time to drop it off. So I'm really excited about these food waste bins because they're pretty well scattered across the city. They're like in almost every single ward at this point. Northwest, they're still coming for you. So like I'm talking like way up Northwest. So wards 3 and 4 is like Petworth and National Cathedral and going farther out of the city from there. They don't have the waste bins yet. Hopefully they're coming. But the rest of the city, they're all over the place. And there's an easy map on the website. It's zerowaste.dc.gov/food waste drop off. There's one like 2 blocks away from me and I'm so psyched.
Yeah, there's one really close to me. And it actually reminds me of the episode we did with DC's Rat Czar, where I learned that I had been improperly disposing of food waste because he was like, you're not really supposed to put it in the garbage can because that just goes out into the alley, which attracts rats. You're meant to put it in the garbage disposal. But my garbage disposal is a little bit funky. Like it doesn't always work for things that are tough. So like, what do I do? And putting it in a Tupperware and taking it to a bin that's like a block away is a much better solution than just throwing it essentially tied up in my alley and hoping it doesn't attract rats.
Yeah. This is how we defeat the rat problem, finally.
Wow. When you frame it like that, how could you be anti-compost after that?
Yeah, we must all come together. The rats are the bane of my existence. I've been searching for a solution for years. Here it is. Use your food waste drop-off bin. That's my tip.
I feel like we're losing the war on rats. I think the rats have won.
What about you, Bridget?
Yeah, I think that this time is a really good time to reassess sort of your internal communications and digital security practices. I don't think I need to tell anybody listening that we're in a weird time, and I think it's going to continue to be weird. And so if you're someone who's listening who is a federal worker or an organizer or somebody who goes to protests or is interested in talking about things like protest, that is great, but make sure you're doing it in a smart way. So like when you have conversations about things like this, are you doing it on an unencrypted text message platform? Stop doing that. Use Signal. Are you using a VPN? There are so many good, cheap options like ExpressVPN. Are you using services like Delete Me to help keep your digital presence the way that you want it to be? Services that auto-delete your tweets and auto-delete your social posts, things like that. Are you using a password manager? I think that if you have gotten sloppy on your digital hygiene, if you're using the same password for everything, maybe somebody out there listening is like, ooh, that's me. It doesn't take much to tighten things up. So I think it's a good time to reassess those digital practices that we're all doing.
I think that's so smart. I think a lot of the year so far, like especially February, I guess, has been a little bit of a shock to the system for DC. And like a lot of people I know have been, on edge or just like head spinning. And I think March is a good time to try to reset, step back, think like, how do I navigate this time intelligently? And what you're saying is a really good tip for that.
I've been a digital security enthusiast for a long time. And there was a time where people will be like, I'll be like, oh, signal me. And they'd be like, okay, Snowden, you don't have to be Edward Snowden to care about your digital security. It doesn't take much. A lot of these tools are free or cheap. If anyone has questions on how to do this, please get in touch with me because it's one of my favorite topics to talk about.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to think that like nothing will ever happen. And then something, I don't know, crazy things that we thought would never happen keep happening. So
we cannot afford digital nihilism in spring of 2025 in DC. None of
digital
us.
nihilism.
Well, that is enough kind of doom and gloom and prepper stuff. What fun stuff are we getting into in DC this March?
Okay, can I go first? Because I'm psyched.
Please.
There is a event happening at Mary Pin on March 21st. Mary Pin is like this cool craft store / bar type place in Tacoma. They're hosting an event called Craft Witchery Equinox. It just sounds so funky and fun. It is a bit of an investment because it's a whole like 24 hours worth of programming. So it does cost a bit. It costs $295, but that includes 3 meals, 2 hands-on guided workshops, and a goodie bag. And so when you think about how much all of those things individually cost in DC, the price actually does kind of make sense. Like I had a little bit of sticker shock and then I was like, actually, I guess it makes sense. So you're going to be making what they're calling witchy art pieces, like an oracle deck, and then you're making mini altars. All of this has like tarot card related aspects to it. It all sounds very like I'm not a witch. I have not done many witchy things, so it's a little foreign to me, but it sounds exciting and fun and different. And I always think things tied to the equinox are always a little kooky and fun. And I love that there are 3 meals included. That just sounds like a good time. So that's one event. Can I have a second one? May I?
Sure.
Okay. The other event that I'm really, really psyched about is that the 930 Club is doing a Hot in Here dance party on March 14th. I went to a 2000s dance party there earlier in February, actually, and it was like easily the best night of the year. So I would happily recreate that on March 14th with another. I mean, if it's called the Hot in Here dance party, that's got to be like 2000s, right? Got to be.
We talked a little bit about your experience at the last 2000s dance party you went to, and it really sounded like a cathartic experience, like the kind of thing people need in DC right now. People should be going out and like doing this kind of stuff that gets you out of your apartment, gets you out of your head, gets you on a dance floor, gets you shaking your booty, and reminds you why we love living here, why we, pay so much in rent to be in a city like DC, stuff like that.
Yeah. What I really loved about the party that I went to actually was also that the age range was all over the place. The 930 Club was admitting people under 21 and just like, putting a bunch of stamps on their hands, making it clear that they were not allowed to have alcohol. And so it was like there was clearly a group of 19-year-olds hanging out, like kind of nodding along to the music, like this is cool, this is interesting. While like me and my friends in our early 30s were like screaming. And then there was a group of like moms of teenagers, I would guess, in their like mid 40s or early 50s who were also enjoying this music. It was such a range. And that was really cool to see too. I love when events in DC have that.
Yeah, you don't really get that often. And oftentimes when you do get it, as the person who is like representing the late 30s on the dance floor, oftentimes it is unpleasant where you're like, wow, these are young people who have never been to a nightclub before and certainly do not know how to act.
Yeah.
But in situations where it's pleasant, those are rare. So you definitely got to enjoy them.
Okay, I'm done monopolizing event time. What about y'all?
Mine is bittersweet and time sensitive, but we all heard that Landmark E Street is shutting down. A spokesperson said that they won't be showing anything past March 6th, which is a week from today. So you have a couple last opportunities to see a movie there if you love that theater, like so many of us do. On March 4th, there's Shaun of the Dead, which is kind of a hilarious one of the last
classic
movies to have, but it is a classic. And then seemingly the last showing ever will be on the 6th, and it'll be Mickey 17, the new movie.
That's the guy who did Parasite, right?
Guy who did Parasite with Robert Pattinson. It looks pretty good. So I wonder if it'll be like packed out with tearful moviegoers. We'll see. I might try to be there because I was trying to see that movie anyway. So it'd be fun to be at the last showing, fun/sad to be at the last showing ever.
That's a good rec.
I am a big movie person. I've spent many, 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 many afternoons at E Street. I cannot imagine DC without it. And we don't really have a place that replaces it. There's the Draft House, but when you go to draft houses in other locations, you really realize how like DC, how ours is like good, but not as good as some of the other ones across the country. There's obviously Suns, but they don't really get new movies, although it is one of my favorite places in DC, so I'm not trashing Suns. There's Atlantic Plumbing, which is good, but like they, in my opinion, sometimes can sort of stray from their art house ethos where there's only like a handful of screens and they're always playing whatever the big budget popcorn movie is in addition to the indie movie. So it's like, what, like you could see these movies anywhere. Why are you playing like a Marvel movie at a independent theater? So yeah, E Street really was a gem and it's been there for so long and I can't believe it's closing and I'll definitely be at that last showing.
I love that. What about you, Bridget? What are you doing in March?
Well, my event that I'm looking forward to this March is called the Big Dyke Market, which is happening on Saturday, March 29th at Hook Hall. And it's basically, I've not been, I don't know if this is the first one, but it basically just sounds like a big pop-up market with vendors and art installations and two amazing DJs, DJ Zemi and DJ Honey, and a patio. So it says it's curated by Femme Fatale and Queer Talk DC, and they're partnering for an unforgettable event that aims to uplift Sapphic-owned businesses and creatives throughout the DMV area. This event is designed to bring together creatives, artisans, and small businesses that align with the mission of fostering meaningful connection, artistic expression, and a vibrant community experience. And I don't know, it just sounds like a fun way to spend an afternoon. I enjoy Hook Hall. And I also think right now, like, we should really be thinking of ways to use our dollar to reconnect with the local communities that we like and are a part of. And so rather than shopping at Amazon or Target, spend a little money with a local queer DC artisan, you know?
Totally. This is kind of anecdotal, but I feel like I've been seeing like smaller markets pop up more and more in the past couple months. And I expect going into spring and warmer months, that'll keep happening.
And I think this is what people want right now. Connection, community, reminders of what it is they like about DC and why it is they live here. I think especially right now, we're all looking for that.
Yeah, March is a great time to find it. Just get out there and enjoy the sunshine.
Well, Priyanka, Ash, thanks so much for being here. I will see you checking out otters, eating cookout while watching some weird art.
Yep. Thanks, Bridget.
Thank you, Bridget.
And listeners, don't go anywhere because in just a second, we've got a segment sponsored by District Bridges about a low-key taco tour and a high-key neon party, both events you do not want to miss this March.
Hey there, I'm Senior Executive Producer Priyanka Tilve here with Anna Claire Walker from District Bridges. Anna Claire, thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, I always love hearing about the different events y'all are putting on. And one of them this year I hear is something called Tour del Taco. I mean, I love the sound of that. How does it work?
So Tour del Taco is our annual celebration of the amazing taco and pupusa restaurants across DC. It was just an idea we had 3 years ago to do kind of a 2-week-long game to see how many taco places we could visit during the month of March, kind of March Madness style. We had a bracket where people could vote on their favorite taco, and it was so much fun that this year we've expanded it to be the entire month of March. Last year we did have a taco winner that got crowned as a taco connoisseur of DC, and they got a gift card to their favorite restaurant as a prize. But we wanted to give people more time and just expand the fun. We've added pupusas this year since they're such an iconic kind of DC dish.
Yeah, that's very DC. We actually did a pupusas episode of CityCast DC where we taste tested ourselves because it's just so iconic to our city.
Yeah, we love that.
What are some of the participating spots?
Yes. So one other thing that we added this year, the last 2 years, it's only been on our 6 Main Street programs. And, you know, the average person in DC might not necessarily know when they're walking down the street where one Main Street ends and the next one begins.
Yeah.
So this year we have opened it up to be any taco restaurant across the district. So you will get extra points if you visit the ones in our neighborhoods like Columbia Heights, Mount Pleasant, Logan Circle, U Street, Georgia Avenue. But you can get points for visiting any restaurant and you can vote for any restaurant as well.
Okay, that's really fun. And then whoever goes to the most taco spots wins.
Yes. And there's other ways to get points as well. You can leave a positive review for a small business on Google. You can tag yourself in a photo on social media and tag us in it for extra points. We're also trying to promote getting around the district safely and sustainably. So you can also get points if you use, a Capital Bike Share bike, or if you take a scooter or a bus or the metro, you can get extra points as well. So there's a lot of different ways to earn points throughout the month.
Yeah, I love the variety. That's really cool. And I mean, one of my favorite things about District Bridges generally is the variety of events that y'all have. So there's so much going on with Chorro del Taco, but you also have something coming up this month called the Neon Party, right? What's that about?
Yeah, so Neon Party is our annual benefit bash. We've been on CityCast a while. You know that we don't like to do things by the book. We want things to be fun. And our executive director thought, why have kind of a stuffy gala when that's not really in line with who we are as an organization? So we switched from having kind of an annual gala to a neon party where we dress neon, we decorate neon, there's sometimes neon food, neon beverages, and we have a really good time celebrating the accomplishments from the past year. And we even have a meeting this year where we were like, should we even have it this year? Things feel so dark, things feel so uncertain. Is this really the time for Neon Party? And we kind of decided, this is actually exactly when we need to focus.
There's no better time for a Neon Party.
And people are out there wondering, what can I do to get involved in DC and help make tangible difference? Well, District Bridges is making tangible differences in the lives of our small business community and our vulnerable residents. So Neon Party is the perfect time to come celebrate and hear about some of our accomplishments from this year.
I know Neon Party, as you just said, is meant to celebrate the work that you all do every year to benefit the DC community. So before I let you go, in light of that, what achievement would you most want to celebrate this year?
Our small business support community, they distributed over $220,000 in small business grants. So that goes to repairs, equipment, and that's not even counting the thousands of hours of free training that they provide. But a lot of our small businesses have said to us, I don't know where I would be right now if it weren't for this grant or if it weren't for District Bridges. And then also we expanded our community navigation team, which does the outreach and connective services with our neighbors in need. And last year, they were able to get 24 individuals into housing and substance use treatment centers. So that was a pretty big accomplishment as well.
Yeah, definitely both worth celebrating. Anna Claire, thank you so much for being here. If people want to learn more, remind me where they should go.
You can go to districtbridges.org. We have our events. We have links to all of our different programs. If you're curious, all the different things District Bridges does. So districtbridges.org.
Okay, districtbridges.org. We'll have that link in the show notes as well, so you're just a click away. Anna Claire, thank you for being here.
Thanks so much, Priyanka.
That's all for today here on CityCast DC. If you enjoyed the show, text your friend who loves the idea of having a day trip organized around fast food. We'll be back tomorrow morning with even more news from around the city. Talk to you then.